What's your rose goal? Jasmine? 2. Camellia? 4. Edie? 2. Elizabeth? 2. Ty? 12. Giovanni? 2. Second graders, do any of you guys know your goals for NWA in reading or in math? Does anybody know their goal? Can you call on Miss Claire?
Joshua.
It's okay, we'll come back to you. Call another one.
Jose.
My NWA score for reading is 215 points.
215? Whoa, that's like a 4th grader.
Joe.
Oh.
That's okay.
For my math is 204.
Very good.
Liana.
For my reading it's 195.
Very good.
You can tell them how many points they need to grow. How many points do you need to grow? Nivea. Okay. Jemiah.
I need to go 17 points.
But what happened? Did you already meet your goals? You already met both your goals, so we gave her a new goal.
Oh, wow. Some of us have new goals because we met our goals. We have a couple people that did that too, so good job. So we have been kind of practicing this for a long time, but I know 2nd grade you just started. So when you practice it more, you look at your goals more, you'll be able to say them real fast like the 4th graders. So one thing we do to help us meet these goals is we do test prep. Raise your hand, 2nd grade, if you heard the word test prep. Adonis, what does that mean?
It means like how to take a test.
Yeah, it means how to take a test. So what we're going to do is we're going to show you what we do when we're practicing how to take a test. So you guys can turn toward me now. I love how the 2nd graders are moving nice and quiet and I can't hear anybody's voice. Excellent job. I forgot your name right here. What's your name?
Miguel.
Miguel, cut it out. All right, so before we start test prep, we always do chants. And we do chants to help us remember whatever skill we're working on. So when we're answering the questions, we can have that in our head. So class, what are we working on right now, 4th graders? What are we working on, Johnny?
Chronological.
We're working on chronological order. But what's the big umbrella of chronological order? Go ahead.
Text structure.
Text structure. So we're going to show them our chant for text structure. And the reason we do this is so that before we answer these questions, we know what skill we're working on. So, it's like this.
Yeah.
Here we go. 1, 2, oh, you guys can turn. I'm sorry. Turn again so you can see this.
That's okay. We're flexible, aren't we, guys?
Yep.
Here we go. 1, 2, ready, go.
Text structure.
1,
Text structure. 2. Text structure. 3. Text structure. 4. How the text is organized. How the text is organized. Text structure. 1. Text structure. 2. Text structure. 3. Text structure. 4.
Now, guys, when we came up with these chants, we used certain movements that would help us remember the definition. So can 4th grader explain why do we do our arms like this when we're saying text structure? Claudia?
So the army functions with the military.
Yeah, because we were thinking about the military, and what do we say about the military? Druin?
They do it in order.
They do things in order. They're very structured. So we're thinking text structure. Let's think about the military. And then why do we do this? Why do we choose this one? How the text is organized. Camellia?
Because the military, they do it all at the same time.
Because the military do everything at the same time. They're very precise. And so we decided to salute when we talked about organization, because the military does things in an order. And then Johnny already told us that we're working on chronological order. So do you guys remember the chant for chronological order? This one is new. We just learned it last week. So this is the movement. So 1, 2, ready, go.
Chronological, what comes first, second, third, and fourth. Simultaneous, of course.
Can somebody explain why do we have those words, first, second, third, and fourth? Why do we choose those words? Alondra? Because they're clue words for chronological order. So when we're reading, we know to look for those clue words. So go ahead and face me. And we're going to start with the text. Swing your butt and cross your legs. So what is the first thing we do? We see this text. We know it's called The History of Kites. And I know it's really small for you guys. They have it on their iPads. I'm sorry. But what do we do first? Do we start reading this text first, fourth grade?
No.
What do we do first? And why? What do we do first? And why? Jackie?
Read the question.
We read the question first. Why?
Because, so you can know what you're finding.
So you can know what you're finding. Because to be honest, Miss Henley doesn't care about the history of kites. I don't really care. But I need to know what this passage is about so I can answer these questions. So I read the question first to kind of give me a reason to read this passage. So that's step one on our test prep tips over there. It's step one. So on the count of three, fourth grade, we're going to read this question together. One. I'm sorry, hold on. One, two, three.
What style of organization does the author use in the history of kites?
Now, what do we do to that question always so that we don't forget what we're looking for? What do we do with that question? Leslie? We underline or circle the clue words. So what is one thing that I should circle or underline, fourth graders? Elizabeth? Organization. Who can tell me how Elizabeth knew that organization was a clue word and we should remember that? We should pay attention to that. Johnny?
Because organization has something to do with a type of order things happening.
Thank you. Organization has to do with an order. We know we're learning about text structure. So if I was taking NWEA or if I was taking a test quiz, I could say, oh, organization, I know this. Organization is text structure. So when I'm reading, I need to think about how the text is organized. All right? So let's look at question number, and then fourth graders, make sure you circle it on your iPad. Circle organization.
Miss Henley, you have this on their iPads in what program?
In class kit. Only because test isn't much. Okay, question 7. On the count of 3, let's read it together. 1, 2, 3.
How can the reader tell that the history of kites is non-fiction?
What should I circle or underline? What's a clue word for this one? What's something that should
Can any
stick out?
second graders answer that question?
Right here.
Non-fiction.
Good job, nonfiction. So now when I'm reading this story in my head, I'm like, okay, it's nonfiction. I know that nonfiction means what? Second grade, what does nonfiction mean? What does nonfiction mean right here? It's real. So like, I can put a note like real. Or we, in fourth grade, we say not fake. So when I'm reading this, I'm thinking to myself, okay, well, how do I know that this story is real? It's not fake. Fourth graders, make sure you write down this real, not fake. Let's read question number 8, fourth grade, on the count of 3. 1. What's wrong, Kayla?
My iPad doesn't turn on.
It's not turning on?
Yeah, we left the.
Could you go sit by charge?
It's not turning on because it was at 75%.
Okay, share with Kaylee for now. Kevin, she's going to share. It's okay. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, go.
In which paragraph does the author introduce kites being used for experiments?
There's a lot of clue words in here. What should we be paying attention to for this one? Look at all these second grade hands. What should we be paying attention to? Jesus? We're looking for a paragraph. What about that paragraph are we looking for? We're looking for a paragraph that what? Second grader, you go, you try. That introduces what, class?
Kite.
So a paragraph that introduces kite's doing what though? Introduces kites doing what? What about kites in particular, Valeria? Being used for experiments. So I'm looking for the paragraph that talks about kites being used for experiments. Introduce means what? If it's saying introduce, what does that mean? Does it mean this is the second time they're talking about it? Does introduce mean it's the first time they're talking about it? What do they mean by introduce, Ty? The first time. So I'm just going to write the word first right here. Because I want to make sure I don't want to look for whenever they talk about kites being used for experiments. I want to look for, stop. I want to look for the first time they talk about kites being used for experiments. Go ahead and get this down. 4th grade, and then we'll go on.
So Ms. Henley, you go through all the questions before you read.
We read all the questions so then we know what we're looking for while we're reading. Okay, last one, number 9, on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
The author organizes the information in the passage by
Clue words. What should I search for? Ariel. Organize. There's another question about how the text is organized. You guys see another one? In the back? Hold on 1 second, because somebody's talking while you're talking, and that's not good. Try again. Information? We can circle information. Alright, now we're going to go to the passage and we're going to read it. We know what we need to know about it, so now we're going to read the history of kites. 4th grade, what do we do while we're reading the passage? So read the passage is step 2. What do we do? Do we just read it and just listen? If Henley's reading, I just listen, I just chill out. What do we do while we read the passage? Ty, I hope you're paying attention. Alejandra. We still look for clue words, and when we find them, what do we do, class?
circle.
Circle them. Because sometimes it's easy to daydream while you're reading, but if you're looking for those clue words, it'll help you stay focused. Here we go. So I'm reading, they're following along. 2nd grade, follow along as best you can with these words up here. I'll try to point to what I'm reading. Here we go. The history of kites. No, I'm reading. You just listen. Alejandro, track your screen. Have you ever wondered who made the first kite or where kites come from? When people search for answers to these questions, they discovered that most kites come from the Far East. Some of the earliest kites were made more than 2,000 years ago. So I'm going to stop for a second because I saw the word first here, but I got to pay attention to how the word is used. I know first is a clue word for chronological order, but I have to think about, are they talking about an order? Are they talking about the first kite? Are they telling me what to do first? No, so this would not be a clue word for chronological order. But I see something else in this paragraph. It talks about the earliest kites were made more than 2,000 years ago. And I know that when I'm giving years, that's a clue word, so I'm going to circle years. And we haven't talked about the word earliest yet, but earliest also gives me a clue. So 2nd grade, make sure you're circling earliest. 4th grade, sorry. And 2,000